and we keep quiet because we're dead if they knew. Yeah, I was also thinking of just like girls back in the day always needed a chaperone. You always needed like parental supervision, which actually gets us down to this other part that I'm super interested in. Escape this town. Like she wants to get away, go somewhere alone. She really wants this like privacy, escape this town for a little while, get away from the chatter. I think whenever we hear the word town used in some of these songs, it doesn't always just mean town. It means townspeople. It means gossip. It comes with the whole baggage of a small community. But then it says, you were Romeo, I was a Scarlet Letter.
Okay, I'm so excited for us to dig into this because it is a hell of a reference. You talk about Romeo and Juliet tragedy. We talk about Prince and Princess. Okay, sort of get that love story. And then there's Scarlet Letter, which is just a loaded reference to make. We have Nathaniel Hawthorne writing the Scarlet Letter, and it is about an unmarried woman who gets pregnant and shunned by the whole town. If you haven't read it, that's pretty much
I haven't either, but I saw Easy A, which is as close as I got.
Yeah, honestly, Easy A gets you pretty darn close to it. But and then she has to wear literally a Scarlet A for adulterer. Is she single or is her husband just disappeared? I can't remember. Either way, she clearly is not. She is not pregnant by a husband. That is clear. And so.
Ignominy is the one word I remember from this book. The number of times it came up. Ignominy.
What does it mean? What is our word of the day?
I can pull up the definition, but I think it means extreme shame.
Yeah, it's a very
deserving or causing public disgrace
shame or disgrace.
Yeah. So she has the baby. It's Hester Prynne. Wow, I'm actually really proud of myself. Have not read this recently, but I'm still remembering this. So her name's Hester Prynne. She has the baby. She has to stand holding her baby for several hours in the town square with a Scarlet A on her. Like that's her big punishment.
I guess I should have figured that we'd go into this because it literally says Scarlet Letter in the song. But here I am. I'm like, how did we get here? We got here because Taylor brought us here.
So Scarlet Letter is saying she was a Scarlet Letter is like I think in this context it's supposed to be she's like forbidden, she's shamed, she's an outcast. Forbidden.
Yeah,
which is fascinating because also it's really interesting. So she is impregnated by the pastor or whatever he is of the town.
Shamed?
He does. She never reveals it. She keeps his secret,
girl,
because I think they do. There is a strong they do actually seem to love each other. That she's just saying we do actually love each other. She can't hide it. She's pregnant, so there's nothing she can do.
Frustrate me.
It is a very frustrating book.
It's very frustrating.
It's written by a dude, so
yeah. Shocking.
But it is interesting because they do seem. There's this moment talking about the garden. Oh gosh, someone out there's read this more recently. I'm sorry if I get these details wrong, but there is this whole chapter where Hester and whatever his name is, I don't know, some dude. They go out into the woods and they have this very sweet, intimate moment. So talking about the garden again, there is this getting away from town, getting away from society and getting into nature, and they can kind of be together. And it is frustrating, but I think it's supposed to be. You don't leave that book, which this is kind of radical. You don't leave the book thinking Hester's the bad person. You hate the town.
It's written in Puritan Massachusetts, I want to say.
Yes,
So it's also grounding yourselves that it's a commentary on this extremely conservative society.
So yes, it is. You kind of want her to do more, but at the same time, again, we've talked about this in other stories. If you want to say something even remotely radical, you need to make sure your character who's saying that is not the villain. And so by keeping his secret, by being genuinely in love, that does add. She's not
buys her some brownie points.
Yeah, you don't hate her. You really pity her. The townspeople are definitely the villains. And the story ends up that way, where at the end, people really respect her. The town comes to forgive her. And that A that used to be shame is kind of a mark of pride of she's held up under the scrutiny. She's held up and she's stayed true and she's a good mother and she... they kind of come around in the book. And so it is certainly a lesson about getting away from town and what does that mean to have those expectations. It's a hell of a reference for Taylor to be making in this song.
One note of clarification. So she is married, but her husband was supposed to be lost at sea and hadn't been found for a long time. And then she apparently he comes back at some point where she recognizes him.
I was I feel like
he was missing in action, so he wasn't available.
Yes, for her to be pregnant, it was clear it was not done in the married situation for her. Yes, in wedlock. Yeah.
Anyways,
it's a
Taylor
reference
Swift
to me.
love story.
Reference. So for her to say I was a Scarlet Letter, it's like she's also trying to get away from the town, escape the town for a little while. So there is some goss happening about her, or there are some rumors in the rumor mill. Or maybe they're not just rumors. Maybe that's like actual ignominy of hers. Like
I mean, Hester was pregnant out of wedlock. Like that was an accurate thing. It's just they were jerks about it.
Well, we get
right after they met in the garden secretly. So
we get a bit of a sense of what's happening. Romeo, save me. They're trying to tell me how to feel. This love is difficult, but it's real. Don't be afraid. We'll make it out of this mess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. So she changes the chorus slightly. And so the reason she wants to be alone and run away is they're trying to tell me, they're trying to influence how I feel and about the romance. So I get a sense of, it goes back to, Romeo and Juliet coming from warring families, that they're trying to say, no, you should hate this person, which doesn't relate to why Juliet would be the Scarlet Letter.
I am seeing this song in a whole new light because this often happens when we do this, but she just said, okay, let's just sequence of events really fast. So they sneak out to the garden. We have to keep quiet because we're dead if they knew. Okay, so something is going on in this garden.
Are they having some?
I think we're doing something happened in this garden because they're dead.